Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the High Media News Update. I am your host, Evan Haggard. Starting, the GOP-led House votes to formalize impeachment inquiry into Joseph R. Biden. Up to this point, House Republicans had not had enough votes to legitimize their ongoing inquiry with a full chamber vote. The probe into Biden's family alleged foreign business dealings had struggled to uncover wrongdoing by the president, which is why it previously hadn't garnered the support of a full GOP conference. They voted Wednesday to formalize an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden as their investigation reaches a critical juncture and right-wing pressure grows. The vote was along party lines 2-1 to 2-12. GOP leadership has made a point to indicate that formalizing the inquiry does not mean impeaching the president is inevitable. Republicans on the House Rules Committee, which advanced the resolution Tuesday, argued the move was in response to stonewalling by the Biden administration to hand over documents. The vote comes as the president's son, Hunter Biden, defied the Republican investigator's subpoena for a closed-door testimony Wednesday and reiterated he is willing to testify publicly as part of the probe. Republicans say that they will initiate contempt proceedings against him for not appearing before the deposition. Meanwhile, the Senate passes a sweeping defense policy bill. They voted today, Wednesday, to pass a critical defense policy bill known as the National Defense Authorization Act, which sets the policy agenda and authorizes funding for the Department of Defense annually. The final negotiated version of the NDAA for the fiscal year 2024 authorizes $886 billion in national defense funding, an increase of $28 billion over last year. It is expected to be approved by the Senate with bipartisan support and would go to the House next, with lawmakers hoping it would pass through both chambers before the end of the week. The Senate passed the bill by a vote of 87-13. Lastly, the GOP-led... Lastly, Fed holds rates steady, indicating the 3 cuts coming in 2024. With the inflation rate easing and the economy holding in, policymakers on the Federal Open Market Committee voted unanimously to keep the benchmark overnight borrowing rate in a targeted range between 5.25 and 5.5%. Along with the decision to stay on hold, committee members penciled in at least 3 rate cuts in 2024, assuming quarter percentage points increments. That's less than market pricing of 4, but more aggressive than what the officials had previously indicated. Markets had widely anticipated the decision to stay put, which could end a cycle that has seen 11 hikes, pushing the Fed fund rates to its highest level in more than 22 years. There was uncertainty, though, about how ambitious the FOMC might be regarding policy easing. Following the release of the decision, the Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped more than 400 points, surpassing 37,000 for the first time. It says for the first time. The committee's dot plot of individual members' expectations indicates another 4 cuts in 2025, or a full percentage point. 3 more reductions in 2026 would take the Fed's fund rate down to between 2 and 2.5%, being close to the long-run outlook, though there was considerable dispersion in the estimates for the final 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to your High Media News Update. We appreciate you, your time, and your listenership. And please stick around for the post-roll, as that helps us do what we do. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day.